Hey, you! Yeah, you! Do you like decimating your opponents for meager earnings? Do you like hitting people with quotes like, get coined and you're so bad I could... Then let me introduce you to the finals. So the finals dropped overnight, right after the Game Awards, and with everyone new coming in, I thought it would be a good time to make a video detailing some of the things that I think that people that are new to the game should know going in to make sure that you reach the finals. So number one, every gun is hit scan. This is an FPS after all, and knowing the gun mechanics in the first place will shape how you play the game. So if you're not familiar with hit scan is essentially where you are pointing the reticle of the gun or wherever the bullet registers. If you're hip firing, it will instantly hit the target. So it would be in a wall, or if it's a person, then of course that will register the damage. So what this means for you is that at long ranges, or any range really at all, you want to keep your cursor, your reticle, your optic, whatever the case may be, on the target 100% of the time. There are some exceptions to this, of course. That would be the throwing knives, the flamethrower, grenade launchers, and the RPG. However, at the time of making the video, all of these options are subpar compared to the alternatives that are available for the classes as primaries, except for the RPG, which is one of the heavy class's best utilities, as not only does it work exceptionally well to destroy walls and shape the arena, but will also one-shot light builds, as the immediate explosion does 180 damage. Worth noting, of course, as well, is that you do maintain all of your accuracy in the air and on zip lines when ADS. So use that to your advantage if you find yourself in a spot where you're dropping down on someone and you can get a few shots in before you land. Make sure that they're below 100% HP before you start fighting them. Number two, there is no aim punch. Here I'm going to play a clip of my favorite Tarkov experience, which is I can't see a goddamn thing.
Shut up.
There we go. The aim punch, dude. Holy shit. Because I got tickled in the arms for 15 seconds here. So the most frustrating thing in any game is loss of control. The finals is particularly good about keeping you in control of your character at all times. When possible, it's a good idea to immediately retaliate on those who are shooting at you, as if you are mechanically adept enough or have good aim, your camera won't be undergoing an intense earthquake every time you take damage. That, in conjunction with the relatively long time to kill in this game in particular, you have a lot more options on how to deal with situations that would otherwise seem hopeless. At number three, this one, I feel like people know this, but I should probably put it in here anyways. You can pick up almost any object that is smaller than your character. A big part of the gameplay in the finals is finding the best angle to attack from. A lot of the utility you can bring will at times not feel like it's enough. This is where the pick up and throw mechanics in the game come in. Pick up barrels laying around the map and press the fire button to launch them in the direction in front of you, or right click will place them down on the ground. You can also use this on teammates' res statues to make sure that you can set up a safe res if you need it, or if you just need to throw the cash across the map to teammates so that they can start the cash out. With that in mind, there's even an achievement in the game for killing a player with a potted plant. Remember, all the util in the game has a counter. Goo and poison, yes, can be taken down by fire, and smoke can take out the fire. And if the util you need isn't in your inventory, take a look around, see what you can find. Side note, getting a direct hit with a red barrel is one of the most satisfying things to me. I will go out of my way to carry around the red barrel to throw it at people. It's probably the best thing ever to me. Number four, before you skip ahead for this one, hear me out. Everything is destructible. I mentioned in the last section, you can make holes in the arena to get more angles for attack, but I think it's really important to expand upon it. When teams set up in a room or a building, it's often best not to attack them directly. Attacking from above or below will often be your best bet. Depending on the exact circumstance you find yourself in, making a hole from above will give you an opening to take out a competitor or two to be able to dismantle the rest of their defense, or if you feel as though you can beat that team setup with your own teams, you can drop the cash out down directly from below. You have a breaching charge, a red barrel, even a properly placed yellow barrel in RPG. All these things will drop the cash out down to your level so that way you can initiate a steal. You want to think of this game as a reverse Fortnite. Thank you, Shroud, for that take, and Shroud will In conjunction, thank Beanans, his girlfriend, for that take. Just make sure you're thinking of ways you can break things down to win fights compared to, you know, Fortnite, where you would build things up. Uh-oh, it's time for the general FPS blunders section. What are we going to cover today? First one here, which is stop walking and looking at the ground. This is particularly common among Battle Royale or looter shooter players, because you're always looking down at the ground to see what you can pick up. This is probably the worst habit you can have for any competitive or arena shooter, because what happens is you're walking along, and even if you know where they're going to come out of, your enemies, you're still going to be looking at the ground, and you're not going to be able to react, and you're going to be shocked and panicking trying to get on target. Get used to picking your face up off the ground, aim at head height, put your crosshair where you expect people to pop out of. You'd be surprised how much of a difference this makes on its own, even barring if you're not the most adept aimer. If you have your cursor placed where people are going to come out of, you don't have to deal with the reaction time of trying to pick your head up. Are you ready for this one? I don't think you're ready. Stop fucking jumping. Not only is this not helping you dodge more effectively, but it's actively hindering you. You're at your most vulnerable when you move predictably. The easiest way to absolutely beam someone is when they move in a straight line. Now, consider the following. An arc is a slightly bent line that you're still locked into the moment you tap that jump button. It's infinitely better to just strafe to one side, as you won't jeopardize your own aim, and you'll get the same result as you would jumping. Get into the habit of crouch spamming, left, right strafing, or anything other than jumping. I cannot stress this enough. Remember, dodging is only useful if you're not jeopardizing your own aim in the process and not making yourself an easier target. And finally, number 5, medium build. It's OP, the best class in the game. The only category that medium falls somewhat short in is DPS, but not by any huge margin comparatively if you're hitting a few headshots in between. The medium class does, however, bring 2 of the strongest utilities in the game: the defibrillator and the healing gun. The defibrillator on its own is enough to make this its own mention. Being able to instantly revive a teammate at half health without having to stand still is worthy of bringing this class on its own. So even if you don't want to bring the healing gun, the turret is still an excellent option, but the healing gun is where the class truly shines. With the pace of the game being so fast, can't wait for passive health regen. Being able to get your team in fighting shape at a moment's notice to stop third parties is incredibly useful and will happen way more often than you think it will. Not to mention, the healing gun is able to out-heal most weapons in terms of DPS, which means slapping your heal on a teammate in trouble in the middle of a fight almost guarantees they'll win their fight, unless they start jumping. In that case, nothing's going to save them. One more honorable mention: light sucks. The light build class is terrible. It is so weak. It is the most fun. You feel like you're doing a lot for not a lot of input, I will say that much, but consider this: the light class has 150 health, the medium class has 250 health, the heavy class has 300 health. So at any given moment starting a fight, you are immediately at a resource disadvantage, as they have a huge health pool advantage on you. So while it's a lot of fun, it doesn't bring a whole lot to the table that other classes can't. It doesn't bring the destructibility that the heavy class does. It doesn't bring the information that the medium class does in terms of sonar grenades. It doesn't bring any healing utility. It doesn't bring the ability to revive your teammates instantly. It does not bring shields that your team can shoot through and the enemy can't. You can kind of see the trend here. The medium class weapons aren't out DPS'd by the light class weapons by that much. The light class will still deal more. They are still the glass cannon, but cannot stress this enough. If you are playing it to have fun, be my guest. However, realize you are going to get one shot or two shot by most anything in the game. You will die so much faster and you will have such a hard time in most of the matches that you play. Any competent team is going to either have a heavy with an RPG that one shots you, because the immediate blast, like I said, does 180 damage. So even if you're slightly beside it, you can still take 150 damage and die outright, which is what most cases what will happen. It's literally like, oh, there's a light RPG.
No, that's actually how I think. You say that like as an ironic joke for like how easy it is, but that's literally how I think. If I see light, I'm like, okay, that's a free kill.
Or even mines, gas, fire, like these are all things that just completely dismantle the ability to play the light class. So learn the heavy and medium builds for competitive play, and you can fuck around with light and non-competitive settings. You'll thank me later. So with that, that's what I think people should know going into the finals for the first time. I tried to keep it short and sweet as much as I could. I try not to ramble too much in the interim, but if there is something new you learned, let me know in the comments. Or I'll like, subscription, all that good stuff. If you did find something valuable that you learned, or if you even have your own set of tips that you want to share with others, please leave it down below so that I can maybe learn something too. So with that, I will see you all next time. Goodbye.